Today we're talking about general rules surrounding licensing of remote pilots as stated in ICAO Annex 1 without hesitation, repetition, or deviation starting now. The remote pilot license is designed for individuals operating remotely piloted aircraft systems under international instrument flight rules. This license ensures that remote pilots have the necessary knowledge, skills, and certification to operate various types of remotely piloted aircraft in different categories, including airplanes, rotorcraft, airships, powered lift aircraft, gliders, and free balloons. To act as either remote pilot in command or remote co-pilot in any of these categories, an individual must hold a remote pilot license with the appropriate category rating endorsed. Before being issued an RPL, applicants must meet various criteria related to age, experience, flight instruction, competencies, and medical fitness. To be eligible, applicants must satisfy the standards set by the licensing authority for the remote pilot license or rating being sought. Importantly, category ratings are issued based on the specific aircraft type the pilot will operate. For example, an applicant wishing to operate a remotely piloted aircraft as a co-pilot in multi-crew operations would need to meet additional requirements. The RPL includes category ratings that specify the type of RPA the remote pilot is certified to operate, such as an airplane or rotorcraft. These ratings allow pilots to operate aircraft within those categories. Class and type ratings are also established for RPAs, where a class rating applies to single remote pilot operations where the handling characteristics are similar across multiple aircraft in a given category. However, a type rating is issued when an RPA requires at least 2 remote pilots to operate or if the licensing authority determines that the RPA has unique operating procedures, systems, or handling characteristics that necessitate more specialized training. Pilots seeking these ratings must demonstrate competency in normal, abnormal, and emergency procedures for the RPA they intend to operate. Pilots are also required to demonstrate their ability to manage the command and control C2 link, ensuring smooth communication and control between the pilot and the remotely piloted aircraft. Pilots must also complete upset prevention and recovery training, especially if they seek certification in airplane category RPAs. The RPL requires comprehensive training, which can be completed using both real aircraft and flight simulation training devices approved by the licensing authority. This training covers all phases of flight, including takeoff, cruise, approach, and landing. Pilots must demonstrate competency in managing instrument flight procedures, emergency handling, and crew incapacitation scenarios. These competencies must be proven before a type or class rating is added to the remote pilot license. Additionally, remote pilots must receive proper authorization from the licensing authority to conduct RPL training. This can include holding an RPAS instructor rating or being an approved instructor at a licensed training organization. Without this authorization, remote pilots are not permitted to conduct training for new RPL applicants. The flight time requirements for obtaining or upgrading a remote pilot license are structured to ensure that pilots gain sufficient practical experience. A student remote pilot can be credited for all solo and dual instruction flight time when pursuing the initial issue of an RPL. Once certified, remote pilots are entitled to receive full credit for RPAS flight time toward future ratings or remote pilot in command upgrades. Additionally, co-pilots are credited for their flight time, although in certain cases only 50% of the flight time is credited toward an upgrade unless the operation involves a multi-crew RPAS, in which case they receive full credit. Special cases such as non-revenue flights for training or testing purposes may receive temporary authorization from the licensing authority in lieu of a formal type or class rating. The privileges of a remote pilot are subject to age-related limitations. Pilots who have reached their 60th birthday are no longer permitted to act as pilot of an RPAS in international commercial air transport operations. For operations that require more than one remote pilot, this restriction extends to remote pilots who have reached their 65th birthday. As with manned aircraft, remote pilots must meet specific medical fitness standards. The Class 1 medical assessment is typically required, ensuring that the pilot is physically and mentally fit to perform their duties in high-pressure and complex RPAS operations. This ensures that remote pilots maintain the focus, reaction time, and overall health necessary to safely command an aircraft remotely. In summary, the remote pilot license establishes a detailed framework for the safe operation of RPAS in international airspace, particularly under IFR. With specific requirements for training, experience, category ratings, and flight time crediting, the RPL ensures that remote pilots are well prepared to operate a variety of remotely piloted aircraft safely and effectively. The licensing system provides flexibility for pilots seeking class or type ratings across different RPAs, while also ensuring that those engaging in training are fully authorized to do so. The RPL offers a clear path for professional remote pilots to gain, expand, and refine their skills as they advance in their careers. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more aviation content.